YouTube. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Perspective. I'm your host Lucas. I'm with a special guest Andrew Fryman, volunteering his time tonight. Appreciate it, my man.
Hey, no problem, man. Always a pleasure.
Since we've been only doing this once every couple weeks, I look forward to it. There's a lot more stuff to talk about. We have a lot more to tackle. So what do you say we get into this? Is there anything that you want to shout out to the Fantasy Football Perspective audience before we get going?
March Madness just ended. Our team, Kansas, won. Mm-hmm. We both actually picked Kansas to win in one of our brackets. So that's pretty good for us. But yes, sports world never stops, man. There's always something to talk about. That's why I love it.
Isn't that the truth? And I know this is a fantasy football channel, but we wouldn't be doing our due diligence without talking about a little bit of baseball and opening day, baseball day. And you are the baseball guy that I know, you, Jimmy, and a couple others. I follow baseball sparingly. I'm more of a box score looker instead of, watching game by game by game. We're from Ohio, so we're both used to, our teams having the cheapest owners of all time. How's the state of the Reds in your opinion? What as a fan, man. What where are you at with the Reds?
I know a lot of our friends are more optimistic Reds fans than what I am, but I know Jimmy, he thinks they'll win 80 to 80 some games, but I look for him to win probably closer to 70 to 75 range, and of course miss the postseason. But there's things to be excited about. They're a young team. We got two guys starting this year from the minors, and Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green, and they're exciting pitchers. They got good stuff, and they will be good for a long time. I think Nick Lodolo's the better of the two, in my opinion, and I believe he's younger, so he's a lefty. He's going to be great. It's just a matter of time. I think the window, looking into the future, will be 2023, 2024. Well, when they'll start to contend again,
Yeah.
But it's going to be a long year this year, I'm afraid. As long as if we stay healthy, there's always a chance, but that just never happens.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm not a huge Reds fan by any means. I like the Reds just because we're so close to it, and a lot of my clients that I see are Reds fans, so I stay up on them. But it's just it's hard to get attached to anybody on the Reds. If we have a good player, we know they're going to leave us for free agency to a bigger market team, and that's just hard for me to accept. It's hard for me to put my time into rooting for an organization like that. That's just, we develop these players, or they come over here randomly, and just none of the moves make sense. Why are we out here? Why are we signing Pham just randomly? Are we trying to save money, or are we trying to compete? Because you really can't have it both ways when you got. Let's bring up the Dodgers roster right now.
They have the best roster I've ever seen this year.
How can you be saying let's save money, but you're out here signing Pham, who's a pretty good player, and it just makes no sense. Are we tanking? Yeah. Or what's the plan? I don't know what the plan is. Are we ship off Winker, who was ranked number one
left fielder
in baseball, right?
If you're going to rebuild, I say let's do it right. I've already got the mindset the team's going to rebuild. That's okay, but let's do it correctly.
Yep, I'm with you. It's kind of like Dynasty fantasy football. You're either all in or all out and building for the future. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you got to stock up those draft picks.
It's
very it's frustrating being a small market baseball fan. It truly is.
So we're just going to bring up the Dodgers. I know, and this is the gold standard of baseball right now. Dodgers, Yankees, they spend their money. I know they make more money than these small market teams, but baseball is not going to get interesting for a casual fan like me until there's some sort of salary cap involved, because
there has to be.
These teams are just too stacked. Not only does there need to be a cap, but there also needs to be a floor, a salary floor. You have to spend a certain amount of money. There's no reason why a team can afford Mookie Betts go out in free agency and sign Freddie Freeman.
Trey Turner. Unbelievable.
And they get Trey Turner. It's like, how is that possible that you get all three of those guys? And not to mention they have Lux, who's still on his rookie deal. Justin Turner. Lux was the number one prospect for his age.
Yeah.
Justin Turner,
they
shows up
re-signed Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor's there. They got Bellinger, who's hitting horrible, but I mean, he has that home run power. I mean, he's gonna be like if Cody Bellinger is your 7th, 8th hole hitter,
that's unbelievable.
You're a dang good team, man.
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Muncy. This lineup's insane. And not to mention their pitching, they go out and trade for Craig Kimbrell. I don't know if you got to see that the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now they got their closer. They have Kershaw, they have Bueller, I mean Urias. They're just stacked. And I know baseball is that one sport where you really don't really have to be the best team to win it all. Definitely the most talented teams sometimes do not win, and it's kind of like a, who's hot at the right time. But I mean,
right.
What are you supposed to do, man?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, no other team is going to be able to compete with that. I mean, the Reds are going to get demolished by these guys.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
And then the Reds are giving away Nick Castellanos and Winker and even Suarez. I realized that they said that the reason they give up Winker is because nobody would take Suarez's contract. I get that from a money standpoint, but
sure.
Are we just not going to keep good players?
Here's what makes another thing that makes you mad is the ownership. They put out an article complaining about not selling all their opening day tickets or whatever, but then they blame it on the pushed back start date. Mm-hmm. No, that's not the reason. All these other teams are going to be full.
I'll tell you what, if the Reds put a product on the field that is worth watching, Cincinnati will come and watch it.
100%. They proved it with the Bengals. I mean,
if the product's good, people will watch.
People will show up.
Yep. And then we're sitting here complaining about cheap owners. Then the Guardians, don't say Indians, ladies and gentlemen. The Guardians come out today and just randomly sign Jose Ramirez to the biggest contract in Cleveland baseball history.
5 year, $124 million, I believe.
5 years, $124 million. It's
unbelievable contract.
And he's I don't really understand this. He's guaranteed $150 million. It's bigger than the whole contract.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, but he's good.
He's the dude great. It's just it's like, what's our plan here? How you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's kind of a team friendly deal. Do you think he could make more money elsewhere?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So he at least get more years elsewhere.
Yeah. Makes me feel like he wants to play there, Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of feels like when the Reds signed Votto a couple years ago. It's just out of left field. They have Votto locked up for a while now. It's like that's what it kind of feels like to me. Ramirez is our Votto, and he's a great baseball player. We just have no talent around him. Our pitching's always good. We just every year it feels like we'll lose a lot of games 2-0, 1-0. Just can't score.
Yeah, and that's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Just can't score.
But you know what? I do think the Indian stack is a good FanDuel pick tomorrow.
I haven't looked at the baseball FanDuel yet. I'm excited. Yeah. I've been kind of wrapped up in the Masters FanDuel. I'm really liking the Masters. Big day tomorrow. The whole slate of baseball opens up. Pretty much every team plays. The Masters starts. It's gearing up, man. It's like one month to the NFL draft. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So
a lot going on.
Let's kind of shift our attention to the AFC North and football. AFC North, obviously, combined with the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and Ravens. I don't know why the Steelers are on there twice. You see that?
That's strange.
That's very strange. So here we are, R4. AFC North is stacked. Last year, we made our predictions at the beginning of the year, and actually it was the complete inverse. Everyone said Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals, and at the end of the year, it was the complete inverse of that. Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Ravens. Hopefully, we can do a little bit better than 0% this year. What is your prediction? And for the
here we go,
AFC North, and let's just assume everyone's playing.
Everyone's healthy.
Everyone's healthy and playing.
I have the Steelers in fourth place in the division with a record of 7-10. This a lot of questions at quarterback there. They'll be looking to draft one this year, I'm sure. Defense is okay, but just not enough offensive firepower to get there, in my opinion. Ravens coming in third with 9-8 and missing the playoffs. The AFC just as a whole is there's too many talented teams. It seems like everybody in the AFC now has a great team, and 9-8 just isn't going to be enough to cut it. So I think they'll miss the postseason, come in with 9-8. I'm not 100% sold on Lamar as a quarterback either. I think he's an excellent runner, but I just don't think he has the quarterback talent to get it done. I have Browns and second with a record of 11-6. Stacked roster, bring in Amari Cooper, bring in Deshaun Watson, still have an excellent defense. I think they'll do some damage this year, and Bengals win the division with 12-5 as their record.
Mine's the exact same prediction. Not record and everything. I didn't really get in the records, but I think the same. But if you finish first place in your division, don't you kind of get screwed the following year on the schedule?
Yeah, you do.
I don't remember the actual.
I believe that's the way it is.
Yeah, don't you play like the first place team of other divisions? I might be wrong with that.
No, I think you're right.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Do you think I'm close record-wise with those?
Yeah, those all sound fair. I want to know about the first place team compared to the first place. I don't even know how to look it up. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I don't know for a fact. I'm pretty sure if you're in first, you get you play against the first place team of another division.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Games, but so you kind of get screwed for doing well. It feels like. But yeah, I like those picks a lot. That's kind of where I'm at with everything. We'll see. It seems like everyone's kind of, especially the Bengals and Browns, are kind of fixing what was wrong.
Yeah, I agree. They're fixing the mistakes, and the Steelers, I still think they'll come in with a decent record. They're not going to win like one or two games, but solely because of their defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Steelers are stacked. Yeah,
it's just I hate Mitchell Trubisky. There's no way, right? If Mitchell Trubisky's the QB day one, I think you hit that record right on the head.
Yeah. I just don't think there'll be enough offensive firepower to get it done.
I like that a lot. All right, so let's transition into a little bit of fantasy football talk. We had you write down 3 running backs you're targeting in fantasy drafts. I don't care if it's top cream of the crop. You like the value on them. And we're talking about redraft leagues, ladies and gentlemen. This is obviously as of April 6, 2022. There has been no NFL draft yet. The free agent signings aren't done yet. So the rosters, as of right now, this is who we're targeting. And we'll start off with the running backs. Go ahead and give me your top running back target.
Top running back target. Of course, if he's there, I'm taking Jonathan Taylor as my number one target for running back. The dude he's just a workhorse running back. He's healthy. He's good. He carries the Colts on his back. I mean, he's the guy. Yeah. Number 2, I would be targeting Najee Harris, just because he's all they have on their offense. We saw Ben utilize him. I mean, throwing, running, he was the offense. And I look for that to continue next year too. He's only going to get better. So if he can stay healthy, he's the guy. And number 3, I'm going to give you a kind of a wild card. Not really though, but Javonte Williams with the quarterback upgrade in Denver. I like him a lot. He's super talented running back. He's definitely going to be overtaking Melvin Gordon this year, I believe. So,
well, as of right now, Melvin Gordon's not on the team. So
yeah, true. I don't think they re-signed him.
They didn't. Javonte is my number 1 target this year. I'm not lucky enough. I don't think I'm going to be drafting in the first slot. to get the Jonathan Taylors of the world. So if I can pick and choose where I'm going to be picking, it's probably going to be late first. I think Javonte fits that mold. And my next two guys are just coming a heavy discount. And this is as of right now. You can get J.K. Dobbins in the 3rd round and Travis Etienne in the 4th round. And both have RB1 upside as far as the year. So you could start your draft off with two, premier wide receivers. Get Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, any of those guys the first 2 rounds. Then follow that up with J.K. Dobbins and Travis Etienne in rounds 3 and 4. You're starting yourself off with a heck of a draft. And I just really, really, really would like that start. Travis
PPR machines.
Travis Etienne, I'm really high on this year. I mean, they don't have any other running backs on the roster really now that James Robinson tore his Achilles, and I feel like they're due to explode. I don't usually target players coming off ACL tears, especially the year after, but Dobbins happened in preseason, so people need to remember that. So we're going to be over a year removed from that ACL tear when the season starts. And as far as I know, all his rehab has been going great. I haven't seen any setbacks. So worked with a lot of ACLs. And if that's I believe that's his first ACL tear, he should be good to go by then. Full speed. All right. What are 3 wide receivers you're targeting in fantasy drafts this year?
My number 1 is the ultimate utility guy in Deebo Samuel.
Okay. I like it.
He's an excellent receiver. They use him in the backfield. Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally use him anywhere they can. The offense flows through Deebo. So I'll be targeting him early if possible. 2 other good receivers, I like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase, yards after catch is just unbelievable. He's fast. He can juke. I mean, plus he gets targets. So same with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson gets all kinds of targets. He's the guy. And for a late pick, but still pretty, I like CeeDee Lamb too this year with Amari Cooper gone from Dallas.
Yep, all great picks. I went with whoever Russell Wilson is eating breakfast with. That news needs to drop.
I love it.
Is it Cortland or is it Judy? Who's it going to be? Heck, it might be Patrick. Right.
I saw some video of him working with Cortland.
I did see that too. That kind of bumped Cortland up my radar a little bit. If they have that connection, man, that's the kind of stuff you look for. You told us about 100%. Cup last year. Then two other receivers I'm targeting this year that their ADPs have dropped tremendously just from previous injury and just having a down year. You can get Hopkins in the 3rd or 4th round next year. And you can get Michael Thomas in the 4th and 5th round, depending on some drafts. If they're both healthy, as they are right today, those are steals. If you're starting your draft off with this isn't Dynasty. This is 1 year. If you're starting your draft off with, Jonathan Taylor, you're coming back around and you get, I don't know, Nick Chubb or someone else, then you follow that up with Hopkins and Michael Thomas. That's a pretty good start to your draft. And
you're starting off pretty.
It's already starting to these older receivers are kind of getting pushed out, and
you think that's why they're falling? It's just they're getting up in age.
And I think as of right now, you don't know Kyler Murray's situation. Rumors that he wants out. Michael Thomas who hasn't played a down for a while, and I just think that people are look at that. They don't want to take the risk, but if he's there. I think you got to give him.
I'm not scared of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think they both have 90 to 110 reception upside with 1,200 to 1,500 yard upside.
Easy.
If everything goes right. They're both going to be the clear number 1s. Kirk left town, Green left town, and Arizona. Michael Thomas is the only receiver I think I can name on the Saints.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know who else is there. But yeah, I think those are you get those for super, super cheap. All right. Last question I was going to ask you was one dark horse QB who can finish as a QB1, meaning top 12 fantasy football QB.
To me, I think it was pretty easy. I'm going to take Justin Fields with Justin Fields in a whole new situation. The Bears were a mess last year. That no one respected the coach. Terrible offensive line. There was really no game plan. But he grew from that experience, I think. So this year, everything's going to be set in stone. He has that connection with Darnell Mooney already. We've
Mhm.
seen it last year. Um, to me, Justin Fields, athletic quarterback, can run, do it all. Yeah, I think he'll be top 10 easy
Yep.
this year.
Target those QBs who can run. I did the same thing. I went on kind of the opposite side, and I think it's Trey Lance, quarterback of the 49ers. I think he is finally going to take over that job. He can throw it tremendously far, has a powerful arm, and the guy can run with the best of them.
Oh,
Take
man,
the running QBs in fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. We
for
don't
sure.
care how good of an actual QB they are. You are targeting running quarterbacks. You get a QB that's getting 500 extra rushing yards a year, that is 50 extra points that these QBs who can't run are getting. So take that into consideration. But this kind of transitions to us. We just talked about some receivers. What's your are these receivers getting overpaid at this point? Like, is that the new strategy?
They're
So you once you pay your QB massive money, and we'll get into that too with the Cleveland Browns completely flipping the QB market. What you don't have the money to pay these receivers, so you're going to find very, very quickly that these teams are going to be letting go of top tier receivers. So let's bring up these wide receiver contracts lately, and there they are, right there over the cat. The top three:
these these
Tyreek.
receivers are getting paid like quarterbacks,
Mm-hmm,
and it's just unbelievable to see.
mm-hmm,
Um, the quarterback's the most important position on the team by far. I think everybody can see it.
mm-hmm,
Uh, so no, I do think the receivers are getting overpaid for sure. Teams are going to be put in a pickle. You can't afford both.
mm-hmm. What's the strategy? You're going to see a lot of people, or a lot of teams, excuse me, do different strategies with this. Stephon Diggs isn't even on this list yet, and he's up
He just
there
got
between
paid.
Tyreek and Devontae Adams, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah,
you get these receivers that are having 52 million guaranteed money. Devontae Adams says only 20 or 22 guaranteed, but I'm sure his incentives are 72 and 65 million guaranteed cash. And these are receivers. These aren't young receivers either. These are 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds. I mean, as we see with like receivers like Julio Jones, they fall
where's
off
he
that
at?
age cliff quick. I mean,
Where's Julio at on there?
he's not on there. He's a free agent right now, but
He has a lot of guaranteed cash
mm-hmm.
still left, I believe,
That's crazy.
and he sucked last year. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been healthy for a long time, and he's just. I mean, look at Christian Kirk up here. Christian Kirk,
Kirk, he's not even a number one receiver. He wasn't even
$37 million. How are you going to pay your QB what the market's set to now? Let's bring this up too. A lot of owners are mad at what the Browns paid Deshaun Watson, and I mean, let's be honest, that completely resets the QB market. I don't know if you know this, but I was watching a podcast and or watching a YouTube video, excuse me, and he was breaking down what the ins and outs of this contract means. When you have a fully guaranteed contract, say let's just take Tyreek Hill here. This $72 million guaranteed contract, as soon as you sign Tyreek Hill to that guaranteed contract, you have to have the cash ready available to put into an escrow account because Tyreek Hill is going to get that no matter what. Yes, these are billionaire owners, but there's only 3 to 5 owners in the NFL that has cash readily available like that. Most of the billionaires have their billions tied up in like investments,
stocks. Yeah,
stocks. They have it in foreign companies. They have it in everything. There's only 3 to 5 owners that can have that cash, and the Browns owner is one of them because he's in oil and gasoline right now, and so he's making a crap ton of money. So not only did the Browns reset the QB market with this Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed $232 million contract, they put pressure on the Ravens to have to pay their QB. They put pressure on the Bengals
Bengals.
to have to pay their QB. Now the Bengals have pressure to have to pay Jamar Chase when he's available, and look what the market's getting set to. And when it's all said and done, you could have, I don't know, $80 million and two players.
Two players.
And
can't
two
afford
players.
anything
You
else.
just can't do that. I mean, it's impossible. Nope. I mean, they've really set the bar high and reset this market. I know they expect the cap to go up each year, and you can do stuff to kind of push the money down the road. You can make a signing bonus the first year, and it takes it way away from the cap. So I'm just saying, enjoy the ride with your QB and wide receiver duos, as we just saw with the Chiefs, because it gets to a point where you can't afford those guys anymore. And
it's a chess game, man.
It's 100% a chess game. So don't be surprised if Lamar isn't a Raven that much longer. Are they going to pay him that? Because he's going to want Deshaun Watson.
He's going to want it.
Joe Burrow is probably going to want Deshaun Watson money, and they deserve it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a smart move by the Browns.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a bigger chess move than people give it credit for.
Oh, 100%.
As far as just they set the market themselves. They realize not every owner has that $232 million cash readily available to put into escrow, and it's hard to come by. So I was just a little wanted to talk about that because that contract kind of reset the whole market, and now teams are scrambling. Teams are pissed. You see it. Yep. I see it on Twitter all the time. Teams are pissed.
They are really mad about the guaranteed money is what players want nowadays. So
guaranteed. So that money goes right into escrow. It's theirs. It's ready for you. Comes in payments, but it's readily available. So that's enough about the fantasy football world. These contracts, crazy contracts. Let's go ahead and go into a little bit of NFL draft talk. So, a little caveat about this. Going to Las Vegas at the end of the month, had absolutely no clue that the NFL draft was in Vegas this year. First I was like, oh, wow, the draft's going on. And then I saw it was in Las Vegas too. So I'm going to be in Vegas for the draft. I already have a ticket readily available to go to the draft if I want. It's actually free, so it's not bad. Just got to get there. I think you have to take a COVID test or something to get in. But if we want there, it's easy to get into. So I'm pretty pumped for that. Have you been looking at the NFL draft at all? I know that's a whole different beast as in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got our Dynasty League draft coming up, so definitely keeping an eye on some of those quarterbacks like Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral, see where they go.
Who's your favorite QB out of that bunch?
I think Malik Willis is my favorite QB out of that bunch. He'll probably land in Carolina or Atlanta, be my guess. Is that what you're thinking?
Just like we talked about earlier with Fields and Lance. I don't really care how good of a QB Malik Willis is. The dude can run with the best of them, and that's fantasy upside no matter what. That's going to get you. When you have a running quarterback, you have a floor each week, and he's going to get over that floor pretty consistently. What about the running backs? Consensus says Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. It seems like the running back class and the
slim pickings
quarterback class is kind of slim this year as far as, complete game changers. What do you think about those two?
I'm not too excited about any of those guys. I'll be looking to see who picks quarterbacks in our Dynasty League. If I can, I'd like to snatch one of them up. That's what I have my eyes on.
Yeah.
Who do you think the Jags are going to pick, though, with their number one overall? That was my question.
I think it's down to either Hutchinson or Neal, offensive lineman from Bama.
Evan Neal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
They're both good. I mean, they'll both be game changers. I think Hutchinson plays a lot like T.J. Watt, and just the motor is just insane. He just goes. He doesn't stop, and I see a lot of good comparisons with those guys. What about you?
I'm thinking. I think the Jags will pick Neal number one overall. I think Hutchinson will probably go to the Lions. Will pick him up second. Yeah.
Yeah, they're secretly building a good team up there in Detroit. I'd kind of spit a little caveat from what we're talking about. I'd like to see Baker go to Detroit. I think he'd fit that city well. That's the kind of personality, the kind of that city needs. I feel like he needs a little moxie, a little not cockiness. Boy, it's cockiness, but he he's always flirting with the edge of like extreme everything, and he doesn't put up with any crap. And I think that's the kind of people that city gets behind. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, I love that fit. I think he'd be good up there.
I do too.
They have Hawkinson, really good tight end there.
Plus, they play in a dome. That helps.
Yep. I think he would fit. DeAndre Swift is always there. He's super good running back.
St. Brown.
Yeah. Why not, man?
I think that's good. So we both think that the receiving or the running back and quarterback group this upcoming draft may not be the strongest, but we both can agree that this receiving class is absolutely loaded on paper. Who's your favorite wide receiver coming out of this draft? And I got mine as well.
Give me the Buckeyes, baby.
Buckeyes.
So that's who yep. Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I think Garrett Wilson might be the best.
Yep.
What do you think?
He's my second. Everyone, all the fantasy football experts that are producing videos are all talking about how good Treylon Burks is. Go back and look at Drake London's tape when he played with Amon St. Brown and Michael Pittman at USC. He was the alpha out of those three NFL receivers all on the same team. Drake London is one of the best receivers you'll ever see. I'm not kidding. I didn't know that. I went back and watched his freshman year tape. He has a pretty lengthy injury history at this point that raises a red flags, but he was getting like 20 to 30% of the target share, sharing a field with Michael Pittman, who's a wide receiver 1 on the Colts, and Amon St. Brown, who's a wide receiver 1 on the Lions right now.
And this guy's better.
And he was
I'm
better.
Have to look this up.
He is a big dude. He probably runs around a 4.5. He chose not to run at his pro day, but if he's healthy, man, he is right up there with Mike Evans for sure, as far as body type and just size. I mean, he has potential. He has real good potential. Go back and look up the USC with him, Amon St. Brown, and Michael Pittman. That's a heck of a wide receiver trio. You don't even realize.
Oh, my gosh. No. I mean, like you said, 2 number 1 receivers there. So
I hope he falls to me in the fantasy drafts, and no one take him in front of me, please, guys.
But I think just to talk about the Bengals 31 pick real quick, I look for them to take a corner with their 31st pick. I think they'll keep it. I know some people like to think they'll trade it, but I think they will keep it. And they'll probably pick up one of the corners from Washington, be my guess.
Yeah.
Either Gordon or McDuffie, whoever's available.
I like that pick. They need a corner bad.
Yeah.
Who's their starting corner?
Eli Apple and
who's the other one?
Shoot. I can't even remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. I know they got rid of Trey Waynes. I saw.
Yeah, Trey Waynes is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need to load up on the corners. Couple extra safeties. They need a couple linebackers to add some depth. I mean, they have a rock solid roster. There's no holes now with that offensive line upgrades.
Awuzie is their guy.
Yeah, that's it. He's good though. He had a good year.
Yeah, he's good from Dallas.
Mm-hmm. We already talked about Kansas winning the NCAA championship, getting us some money. I'm on a 4-year streak, ladies and gentlemen, picking the champion. Right, doesn't always end up first place in our pools, but I've been top 4 the last 4 years. Been on a nice streak.
That is good.
You got second place, right?
I did. Yes.
So you walked away with what, $200? We'll take that.
Yep, $235. You don't realize how important those early games are until the end.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of went. Kansas was my bracket 2 out of 2, so I already did my first bracket. So I was like, picking the exact opposite a lot of what I thought was going to happen, just to kind of cover up the whole board. So I really wish I just would have filled that one out first. Who'd you have winning in your other bracket?
Duke.
I had Purdue. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Freaking St. Peter's ruining everyone's day.
I know that's just unlucky, but those guys are transferring. So
yeah. Well, the coach left the day after they got beat. I mean, that's crap.
Yeah. No more St. Peter's. Mm-mm. They're busted.
All right. Is there anybody else you want to shout out or talk about before we finish up today's podcast?
Nope. Get your bets in tomorrow for golf.
Yeah. Have you done any Masters research?
A little bit. I I like McElroy tomorrow. I like Adam Scott, and I like a really super young golfer named Matthew Wolf, who is like plus 20,000 to win. But
Yeah.
he had a good run last year.
Matthew Wolf makes me mad, man. Last year,
Why?
Ryan told me to pick Matthew Wolf in the Masters FanDuel lineup, and I'm pretty sure he got last place. Or dang near last place. He was like plus 7 or plus 8.
That's frustrating.
But it's all good. I'm going with either Morikawa. I'm riding Scotty Scheffler. I know he's having the best year ever so far, and I like
he's the hot hand.
I like Victor Hovland as well. I think one of those three give me a top 5 finish. That's my bet. And the betting odds on golf is absolutely crazy. The least best odds is plus 1,100. So might not be a bad idea to throw $10 on a couple golfers.
Why not? We'll use some money.
Mm-hmm. But that is everything. You're just gonna play some FanDuel baseball tomorrow?
Yep, FanDuel baseball. I'll definitely be throwing in quite a few lineups.
Andrew said Indian stack tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first.
I love it.
Stack
against the Royals. Sign me up.
Sign them up. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. Drop some comments below. No one really comments on these videos. Drop a comment. I'd love to engage with you guys on that kind of stuff. I love answering questions. If you have any future fantasy football questions, ask away. Draft questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Everything's starting to heat up in the NFL world, and we are excited. Keep expecting a video about once every 1 to 2 weeks. I like this format right now because there's a lot more we can talk about, and it's just, it's going to help you enjoy those long car rides to work and stuff like that. Hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.